Okay, so in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to practice writing using indexing with turtles. So last time we used indexing with an integer array, and this time we're going to try using doing with turtles. And ignore that down there, right? So what I want you guys to do is for this exercise, first I want you to create, a world and then a few turtles, and then create an array of turtles. So try that out and then see if you get the same sort of similar answers as me. Okay, so I'm just going to paste what I had because I copy pasted or cut pasted. But basically, here's kind of the code that we had last time, right? From I believe it was for each loops, right? So um, we had all these turtles and then we put them in a turtle array. Uh, yeah, so hopefully you've gone to this step. And now the next thing we want to do is to use indexing, right? So what we want is to let's try moving each turtle. Um, let's try moving each turtle with by indexing. So how do we do that? How do we index? Let's say, how do we access Alex right there? And let's say I didn't have these variables here, right? Let's say I can't use any of these variables. And you know what? To make things a little more challenging, actually, let me do this. So a way sorry, a way that you can uh, sort of arrange arrays is kind of like this. So I like to have each of these turtles on different lines. Now, do you think we really had to use a variable? Like, do we really need a name for each turtle? Not really, right? We don't really need a name for each turtle because what is Alex? Because Alex is just a new turtle instance, right? So if Alex stands for this new turtle instance, what if we just move this over here? Do you think that will work? Let's try that, right? So let me just comment this out. Let me move this, move Angela over here, comment that out. Let me copy this over here, and then let me move this over here. Okay, so now instead of, and let me just put that there for completeness. Okay, so now instead of using these variable names, now we just directly use, the new turtle instances. So these are the some turtle instances that we don't name, and now we have no access to any of these Alex, Angela, Jack, and Jill, right? So do you think this will work? And it should, right? So let's take a look. Let me compile and then run this. Okay, and there you go. So 4 turtles, they're not named, they're just anonymous. They don't have names, they're just instances in this world, right? So now I've completely gotten rid of these names, and now I must use these. I must refer and refer to every one of these objects inside this array. Okay, so now how do we access? Let's say I want to access the first turtle. So the one that's at 10 and 320. How do I do that? Take a moment and think about that. Or maybe even type it up. Okay, so the way you index is by saying, first you need to specify which array, right? You need to specify which array am I indexing from. So I need to copy that. And I can just say, what's the first element? The first element has an index of 0. Okay, so this is sort of how we access it. Now this right here, this does not do anything. So it says not a statement. So this right here, by itself, it doesn't do anything. It just gets you, this turtle reference, and it doesn't really do anything. Like it doesn't store this anywhere. It's not using a method anywhere. This statement by itself is useless, or like this line right here is useless. So what we want to do is we either want to call a method on it, like we do with Alex and Angela, whatever, turtle, with all those turtles, or we could store this somewhere. Well, in this case, let's try this. Let's try moving it forward. Okay, so same thing as we've always done. So let's go back here, compile, run this, okay? And we've successfully moved the first turtle forward, right? That's great. So that means our indexing worked, and we referred to our first turtle, okay? And now let's try some other stuff, right? So let's say I want to do array of the third instance, and I want it to turn right, and let's also move it forward. Okay, whoops, I don't know what, that was interesting. Okay, move forward. Okay, so we're getting this third instance, which is the one right here, and we're moving it forward. So let's see how that works. So we'll go ahead and compile and hit OK, and there we go. The turtle is running into the other turtle. Okay, so that's cool, right? So this is really how indexing works. And if you think about why this is happening, right? Last time we said, okay, well, we have, so right now we have this turtle array, okay, which is basically just a bunch of turtle instances, right? So we have, basically, you have each of these, maybe in different colors, but I don't know if I'm going to draw them. But basically, what you have here is if you say turtle array 1, or sorry, 0, um, you're basically treating this first box as its own variable, right? So this is the same thing as like, well, technically, what do we say? It's a reference, right, to the actual turtle object, right? So the actual turtle object would be here, but let's just simplify that to this right now, right? And usually what we have is we would name, we would give our turtle a name, and it would point to a turtle. And so it's the same thing here, right? So you could sort of think of these as like variables.